So these are my friends Philip and Zach. We just met up, had some food and stuff. We're gonna do a camera comparison between his GH5S and my GH5. We're gonna see what it looks like. So let's do it. Yeah, boy. Whee.
First thing we could do like, are you cold?
Yeah. We could do I was thinking like a handheld walking test. We could compare the IBIS of the GH5 versus just the regular sensor handheld. I honestly like how it looks handheld though. Like at 24 frames per second, it's just like that little bit of bounce. Looks cool. But if you want super smooth, GH5. So we're gonna do a field of view test where we have the Speed Booster XL and the Canon, what lens is this? 16 to 35?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that on both cameras, we're gonna see the difference in the field of view.
The next one we're going to do is the comparison of the high frame rates between the two cameras. So the GH5 maxes out at 180 and the S maxes out at 240.
So right now we're doing a test where I just shot him running the bases at 180 frames per second, 1080 obviously, and Philip's about to do the same thing on the GH5S, but he's in 240 frames per second. So we just did a test where we tested the skin tones of both sensors. So we were shooting 4K DCI at 10-bit to get as much color as we can in the skin. And now we're gonna try to do a sharpness test. We're gonna like film some stuff on the ground, like little greeneries and stuff, to hopefully we can get some sharpness. I don't know how much you'll be able to see it on YouTube anyway, but we're gonna try. It was really fun doing that comparison between the GH5 and the GH5S. I came away with a few different little notes that I would like to chat about real quick. First of all, on the GH5S, when you're shooting in 120 frames per second or any sort of VFR, there's like really bad noise in the shadows. It's kind of unavoidable. And we were even shooting in broad daylight today and there was still quite a bit of noise in the slow motion shots. Luckily, there's not too much of an issue when you're shooting in 4K 60, which is the max slow motion that I usually use anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. The colors of both cameras are pretty close. I think the GH5 has a little bit more magenta, but it's not really too big of an issue. I've kind of learned how to work with this camera's color science and take a little bit of magenta out. Also, using the GH Alex LUT with these two cameras makes them both really cohesive so they can work well together, and I think it makes both cameras look really, really nice. So I definitely recommend that LUT if you're using either of these cameras. I would say the GH5 is kind of the perfect YouTube camera, at least for me. Even when I'm just shooting some B-roll, it usually turns out really nice because I can kind of fake a gimbal parallax move and the sensor's so smooth that it works. With the GH5S, you can't really get it as smooth because there's no sensor stabilization, but I think the S would be perfect for like music videos or short films or little docs. It just has a really cool feel when it's being handheld and there's no sensor stabilization. I like it. Those are my thoughts. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Make sure to like it if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more stuff. And if you're a great person in the world, please consider becoming a patron. A patron. The way that my channel is up and running is because of Patreon. My patrons are really awesome and we formed a cool little community on the internet and I'd love for you to be a part of it. And now I'm gonna shout out my freaking patrons. Eric Dollister, Manny Zapata, Zapooter, Andrew, Banks Nash, Brandon Anderson, Brandon Stager, Caleb Ginger, Chris House, Christian Reddle, Daniel Peacock, Devin Nicole, Dylan Cabral, Elisha Ruman, Hannah Markley, Jared McCoskey, Jason Hackworth, Jennifer Mayfield, hi mom, Jesse Friday, John Fleischman, I still don't know how to say your last name, I'm sorry dude, Jonathan Lane, Josh Roth, Josh Carlin, Josh Huey, Cash Carter, Kevin Johnson, Kyle Schaefer, Matt Leal, Michael Mayfield, Michael Weeble, Nate Christian, Noah Watson, Perry Mulder, Thought Ray, Reagan Carrier, Seth King, Tony Stanton, Tyler Beakley, and Zachary Thayer. Thank you guys for being my patrons. I love you, and if you're naughty this week, no snacks for you. Bye.